Back in 2020, I was really into Discord role-playing servers, and I mean I would spend hours talking as fictional characters and making them do stupid things with other people, but some of these got way more insane than others. A cat OC of mine basically got high in one scene, and one even genuinely involved a fictional gory crucifixion. Naturally, let's talk about it. But before I get into that, a quick review on what I'm drawing. These pieces are some sticker designs I'll be releasing for my original story, which is complete about a month ago, and you can read about it in full at the link in the description. Onward into the story time. Obviously, for their privacy, I'm not going to name anyone specific or any specific server, but I will be mentioning the generic themes as I go along. Since elementary school, I've been a fan of this book series about talking anthropomorphic dragons called Wings of Fire, so naturally, as I was looking around for roleplay servers to join, I would select the one based on the silly Talking Dragon series. Based on a canonical school in the second arc of the story, this server didn't exactly have many active members, and even less active admins, so when me and two other people I met started roleplaying, things quickly derailed into chaos. And one of the most insane situations we had was when Night Whisper, the one being drawn right now but as dragon interpretation, somehow managed to get into the dream world of her girlfriend, fully sentient and interacting with her in a dream, threatening violence like the absolutely incredible partner she was. Now, for context for this and other situations, Night Whisper was not inherently magical. These situations truly just happened. We had no explanation for how. And an even stranger case was when, for whatever reason, Night Whisper was literally turned into her iconic cap by my friend's magic, and she had to communicate telepathically by writing her thoughts on some magical scroll. Completely shameless about how cringe and weird it was, we were really just having fun. That wasn't nearly as bad as a roleplay that we'd had a few weeks prior, when a character of mine suddenly had a vengeful ghost invade her brain. Numerous scenes of possession ensued, absolutely tormenting this poor dragon, for no real reason besides making the roleplay interesting. We love character trauma here. Now, I'm not saying that these characters weren't very interesting. We were getting really creative with it, but none of it really ended up relating back to the series the setting was based on. Do keep that in mind. Far from the worst in this video, but probably one of my most insane from this server, I had a character that was essentially just a more extreme version of the Joker, scars and all, and on top of that, they had their own powers, so they could essentially do whatever they wanted. So once they're just in a scene with someone else, and they pull out the reverse bear trap from Saw, nearly killing that other character before they relented. My characters were incredibly moral. Again, keep that in mind. Moving on to a different server, we have more Night Whisper stories. Oh boy. Much like other people, I went through a phase when her backstory was being told through flashbacks. I won't spoil that backstory here, that's for her own personal novel. Unfortunately, this server closed years ago, but she was having a very educational mentor-apprentice relationship with a younger cat, instructing but also being fairly open to listening about their problems. And then, in one scene, I had her collapse in a hyperventilating, wheezing panic attack, as she had some kind of flashback. No, this was not some kind of attempt to show PTSD. I probably just thought it would add something interesting and decided to go with it, in front of this innocent child that had no idea what the hell to do. Fun times. Moving on into the final server, this is the only one that's actually been transitioned into a new space, as we wanted to start fresh with some new lore. So these events are no longer canon. So I had this really goofy character named Slate. She's another one that has become well known among my friends for doing goofy stuff. Her most recent endeavor is going to be raising some worms as pets. But once in our old server, she was around someone else's character that was even more chaotic, and that character presented her with some catnip. Essentially, they started using said catnip as a drug and got high off it, in a roleplay server that, mind you, was based on warrior cats, where catnip is used for healing, not as a substitute for drugs. Incredibly realistic, I know. But that wasn't even my craziest roleplay there. Remember how I said that my characters were very moral, not at all impulsive individuals? Well, as promised, one of my characters was responsible for a literal crucifixion in the middle of the jungle. Enter yet another Night Whisper story. So for a little context, I had a fairly malicious house cat in that same server, and for some reason the situation with her escalated to the point where she threatened to kill everyone. And Night Whisper's ego, instead of just laughing it off, saw that as a personal attack. Mob violence ensues, Night Whisper rallying multiple of the other loners, all of them watching as she essentially crucifies that house cat on a tree. The message is describing in detail as she nailed the paws into the tree bark. Just really morbid stuff for a Goofy Warriors roleplay server. All of us involved are still pretty good friends, but everyone involved in that scene still very much remembers it. I'm still interested in roleplay and all, but I really haven't gotten that into it in over a year. Most of that chaotic energy has been transferred into my writing, and I am enjoying many new servers since. But it's still nice when I want a break to just have some fun. I know most of my audience comes from a similar crowd, so what are some of the strangest things you've done in roleplay? Whether that be something like Roblox or entire paragraphs on a forum, tell me about it in the comments. If you want to see more like this, like and subscribe or whatever the big YouTubers are saying. And you have arrived at the end of the video. Again, this art is some character designs for upcoming stickers of my original story, which you can again read the link in the description. I don't really have a set schedule for when these Storytime videos are going to be coming out yet, but I'm planning on maybe every 2 to 3 weeks, so keep a lookout for that. And I believe that's all I really have for this video. I'll see you guys next time.